Morgan is back, and it's opening up a lot of conversation, so we'll see what's new there. We'll also check out what's happening with Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and more. Starting things off with Liv Morgan, because from a storyline perspective and the actual booking of her return, fans are saying many different things. Liv Morgan went down in mid-June with a freakish shoulder injury that required her to miss several months of action. The injury literally came at the worst time for Liv because she was on fire. WWE just started a Nikki Bella versus Liv Morgan feud just a few days before the injury, and that was supposed to take place at Evolution. Liv was also one half of the tag team champions at the time, and she had all of her entire ongoing storylines with Dominik and the Judgment Day. So losing Liv was a big deal. So many storylines and narratives were all revolving around her. Definitely was such a big hit for WWE programming, both from a talent perspective and a story perspective. And when Liv went down, it was reported that she would miss the rest of 2025 and was looking at an early 2026 timeframe return. But there was a constant rumbling about Liv coming back sooner than everyone initially thought, and Liv was even spotted filming the WrestleMania 42 commercial a few weeks back. So there was a lot of buzz and conversation going on there. But even with the buzz, fans just couldn't see a spot for Liv to return in. Well, that brings us to Survivor Series, where it was John Cena versus Dominik Mysterio for the Intercontinental title in Cena's final premium live event match. Dominik came to the ring with Roxanne and Raquel, and they did have one big scheme up their sleeve that we did get to see. That was the scheme of Dominik Mysterio faking a shoulder injury, distracting the referee and other officials, while Roxanne and Raquel double-teamed John Cena and took him out. The big plan did not work, and John Cena was able to kick out of that scenario and gain control of the match. But as John Cena is calling for another referee to come out, Liv Morgan then comes out instead, which marks Liv's first WWE appearance since her injury back in June. Liv gets in the ring, slaps Dominik, jumps on John Cena, but then low blows John Cena to help Dominik win the title from John Cena. Now this is a result that's getting a lot of mixed reactions from fans, because it once again follows a certain pattern that this regime loves to turn to time and time again, and that's the idea that the shock value and unexpected moments equals good TV. Moments like John Cena's heel turn, Brock Lesnar's SummerSlam return, Chelsea Green's second US title win, and many more moments like that. Those are all shocking and unexpected moments that really popped the crowd, but there wasn't much of anything there under the surface, no actual goal or direction, besides just serving as an unexpected moment to shock and pop the fans. And no doubt about it, the Dominik vs. Cena match was one of the most entertaining matches of the night that kept you glued to the screen. But it accomplished that mostly through the use of these shock pops and cheap twists. We saw another fake injury moment. This was done with Seth Rollins a few months back, and fans were mixed on that because faking an injury is really stepping into a gray area of something that feels wrong to do. But they went back to it again here, with the fans really thinking Dominik was hurt, and that match would be called off, but it was just to give you that shock. Liv Morgan's actual role in her return has fans split as well. Fans are questioning the logic behind her slapping Dominik, jumping into Cena's arms, and then betraying John Cena. It seems like a very illogical thing for Dom and Liv's characters to actually do within the story, but the reason they did it in that fashion is once again so they can catch the fans with 3 shock pops all within 30 seconds. Liv slapping Dominik is one shock pop, jumping onto Cena is another, and then kicking Cena is another. So that's one criticism that this return and outcome is facing, that it just relied too much on shock pops rather than actual logical decision making from the characters. So the debate there amongst the fans has been heated on if it was a good use of Liv Morgan's return or a questionable one. But either way, the good thing here overall is that Liv Morgan is back. We don't have to wait until Royal Rumble or some other time in early 2026. Liv Morgan is here back right now in the present, and that will absolutely do wonders for the Judgment Day's current storyline. Because over the last 5 months, things have really dried up with the Judgment Day. Tension between Finn and Dominik stopped making any progress. Dominik and Roxanne's relationship came to a hold. There was just not much of anything really going on with the group after Liv went down. It definitely seemed like they put all those stories on hold and were stalling until Liv Morgan made her return. And now that she's here, hopefully that stalling can now end and the Judgment Day storylines can pick back up again. The story coming out of Survivor Series match appears to be all is well between Liv and Dominik, and their chemistry and love can't be beat. Before Liv came out, we saw Dominik try to cheat, with the entirety of the Judgment Day, Roxanne included, but nothing worked. The only person that helped Dominik win was Liv Morgan. So it gives us the idea that all is well there and nothing has changed between Dominik and Liv. But now that we got Liv and Roxanne back in the same room again for the first time since June, it surely seems like they'll tap back into the story of Roxanne being a temptation for Dominik and getting in the way of his relationship with Liv. That's something we can expect to see right off the bat. And then we'll have to see how Liv Morgan will handle that, and if their relationship is strong enough to get through that obstacle that is Roxanne Perez. Roxanne's probably going to feel a bit left out because she was the one that was guiding and helping Dominik over the last few months when Liv was away. And if Dominik's going to forget about Roxanne now that Liv's back, that'll surely make Roxanne feel like she was being used. So the foundation is definitely there for things to get messy between Dominik and Liv, and for Roxanne Perez to ruin that peaceful and happy reunion that's going on right now. But definitely expect things to pick up with the Judgment Day now that Liv Morgan is back. All the narratives that were in place back in June should be back in full effect. And hopefully some interesting things finally start happening for the Judgment Day. It's been a roller coaster of a week ever since Roman Reigns dropped his cryptic championship teaser. There were a few days where it seemed like Roman versus Punk was the plan for WrestleMania 42, but now coming out of the War Games match, things are swinging in the complete opposite direction. Now the big rumor is that Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes round 3 is set for WrestleMania 42 with the undisputed title on the line. Fans knew it was only a matter of time before they went back to this matchup since it is tied up at 1 apiece. And it looks like 2026 will be the rubber match. The closing moments of War Games featured Roman and Punk once again making up with each other, fist bumping, and appearing to be on great terms. But it was Cody Rhodes who was a little standoffish with Roman, and Roman even said out loud that this was the last time he ever teamed with Cody Rhodes, and they had a little stare down there. So this has now made Roman versus Cody the early favorite to headline WrestleMania 42. Cody did have another questionable moment early on in the War Games match where he accidentally elbowed CM Punk, even though Cody knew there were only 2 opponents in the ring at the time, and he had both of them laid out in front of him. Not to mention that Cody is still a suspect for the attack on Jacob Fatu. So could Cody Rhodes be entering his 3rd matchup with Roman Reigns as the heel this time around? Because if they go in that direction, that'll be the biggest change from their previous 2 matches. So we'll see if that match is what they end up going with for WrestleMania 42. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.